Playing some more Squirrelblade today. Playing it in the Modern Challenge. Just couldn't get away from the deck. I've been really liking it. We've been doing well with it this week in leagues. With the slightly updated version. I've been really liking the Castle Ardenvale. I've been liking the Jace. Sideboard's still in flux, but I like my 75 that we have for today. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This hand's much better. I'm probably putting back the second copy of Anthen Ice. Then leading on Temple Garden. I think if I'm going to fetch a basic, I want it to be Island, because I do have Force of Negation and Jace the Mind Sculptor. Brazen Borrower as double blue. I don't have any double of any other color. Really good hand. Yeah, I figured that you're still Coatl. Sneaky Coatl. How do you change your... I didn't know you could change your name on Twitch, but... I figured that was you. Alright, Marsh Flats. Put an also mulligan to 6. Okay. Weird. Roll to 6, turn 2, upkeep, silence. Treasure map. Well, I guess I'm bouncing that treasure map. Maybe a little too early to tell, but possible that we have the round 1 bye. Unless we're getting Blood Mooned here. Damn it. That's what I get for talking shit, I guess. I mean, if they just can't deal with my Teferi, we're gonna be doing fine. And I guess drawing Basic Island is really nice. Look for my challenge. Which modern deck do I enjoy the most? This is my current favorite modern deck to play. I really enjoy playing this one. Put a card on the bottom. The upkeep Scry. Does Unlife even matter? I'm going to mana leak it, I guess. But I feel like this almost doesn't matter at all. They do get to get their treasures, but I think that's just totally fine. I'm going to leave up Spell Queller this turn for the Blood Moon, I think. We could also just play Teferi in plus. It's probably a bit better. Kind of like to have the Teferi in play before I cast Queller, if I can. Yeah, my opponent's just playing a, you know... What's the card? Enduring Ideal deck, I'm assuming. I guess they could cast Enduring Ideal, but doesn't Teferi shut off, like, the rebound copies? Maybe it doesn't. But I think it does, because it triggers on the upkeep. I don't know. Blood Moon Treasure Cove is also a bit of a nombo. Although not a huge one, I guess. Do I want to leave up double Queller, or do I want to play a Hierarch? I think I'll leave up double Queller. Alright, so they do get to resolve an Enduring Ideal, but I believe Teferi just means... Yeah, so it can't cast spells. Beginning of your upkeep, copy the spell for its epic ability. Wait. I guess they're copying it and not casting it. Yeah, it doesn't stop it. I'm gonna get 4 doves, though. And then the doves will let me draw cards off of Toski, at least. Alright, so this makes all my creatures 1/1s. And I can still activate Planeswalker loyalty abilities, though. That actually makes me have more power in play. I've got 5, 6, 7. So I don't really know how they're getting out of this, but I think I'm just gonna save my Teferi bounce for like whatever they're gonna use to lock up my board. Oh no, they're gonna get Curse of Death's Hold. Yeah, so I actually needed to bounce this, didn't I? Okay, well. Yeah, probably just needed to bounce it. I mean, who knows how to play against this deck, right? I don't... Okay, they conceded. Well, I feel like if your deck can't win... I don't want to harp on this point too much. But I do talk... People have asked me to play the Enduring Ideal decks for, like, donation decks. And it's, like, one of the few decks I just absolutely refuse to play. Because it just, like, even when you get to resolve your 7-mana sorcery, and you get to do your thing, it just feels like you lose so many games even then. I have no idea how this deck ever wins a match. And I'm not trying to just dunk on them. But I truly just don't understand. Yeah, like absolutely everything goes right for them, and they still just lose to like not even that crazy of a draw. Has always been how it's felt. I guess I'll just play like a random path. Path their own creatures in response to removal. Just like no, the card really seems very good to me. The needles also aren't great, but they do stop like at least the treasure maps that we saw. What deck were we talking about? Enduring Ideal, which is what we're playing against, it seems. I'm going to keep this. I like this hand can play around Blood Moon pretty well. And Teferi seems like our best card in the matchup. They suspend a Lotus Bloom, which Teferi dunks on. Force of Negation is a good draw. Definitely going to get Plains and then Forest. Oh, maybe I should have got Forest first because of Ice-Fang. I was just like a little more interested in getting a Plains down, I guess. We could force this. I actually think it's good to force this. Slow card advantage. We have another 4-drop in our hand anyways. Resolves. These silences have not looked all that good, huh? So now they don't get their Lotus Bloom. Pretty sure we're just going to cast Toski here. Second Grand Abolisher. Solves. So see if they block to deny me a card. I think reading Sophie, maybe Feast and Famine's a bit better. Not 100% sure, I guess. Mistvale Plains. Well, I'm gonna mulligan this hand, playing against Lurrus of the Dream Den. I'm gonna keep this one. I don't know what I'm putting back though. Maybe just Batterskull. And grab it off the Stoneforge. I know we don't have a Snowland for this Onthanice, but Onthanice usually is good against Lurrus decks, so if we just draw a Snowland, we'll be okay. Yeah, I saw Todd Anderson's list this morning. I do hope that he's doing well in the Pioneer PTQ. Yeah, maybe Vorinclex also does seem like the mirror breaker. It's a great point. Oh, so this is Hammer Time? Hammer Time's a really interesting matchup. I remember we had some really, really interesting matches against Hammer Time last week in the challenge. You're supposed to play Vorinclex first. I mean, I get that in theory, but it's just like that's a lot of mana and a lot of permanents that just aren't, that your opponent's just not doing anything about. like untapping with your 6-mana creature and then playing a 5-mana planeswalker just doesn't seem like it's going to happen all that often. Love getting to mana leak this. If my opponent doesn't play a second land, I'll definitely Onthanize Ornithopter. Alright. Staying true to my word. And I think we're getting sort of Fire and Ice here. There's not a lot of spells that kill it outside of 3 CMC black ones. That might be true, yeah. Again, I'm just like not in tune with the format at all. And having haste makes it more resilient to like cards like Teferi Time Raveler, of course. Oh, wait, that card's banned! Awesome. I love that that card's banned in Pioneer. Giver of Runes and Sigarda's Aid. Sigarda's Aid's always so scary. That's 2-0. That's cool. I watched his first match. I could be totally wrong, dude. Third 0-mana artifact creature. Who needs lands? I mean, they have a million copies of Hammer in their deck, so it's kind of likely that we get hit by one here. If their hand is exactly 2 copies of Colossus Hammer, we just lose. But they may just try to be playing Hammer defensively here. Because you can play it at instant speed with Sigarda's Aid, of course. So thank goodness we've drawn the Fun Raveler and just to totally blow our opponent out here. Because if they flash in the Hammer in response, then we just get to bounce the creature that it equips to, and then if this resolves, they can't flash it in. And then if we draw a land, we can also equip the sort of Fire Ice here. Awesome. What a great 2 draws in a row. My opponent should chump block. We'll see if they actually do, though. Cool. Toski. So I did cut the engineered explosives from the sideboard, which were like largely for this matchup. So that's something that has made things worse here. Might still want Pithing Needle. Yeah, and naming Nexus is a big deal at least. You can name Hammer, that shuts off Paladin equipping, but that's not great. But naming Inkmoth Nexus is good. It's got some other targets in this matchup too. I do think Force is good against them. I think Gargaroth is okay, but not great. I don't like Remand. I do like Borrower. I don't like Jace. I want to trim Toski. Ice-Fang is great. Spell Queller is good. Can probably cut the Sword of Feast and Famine in the 4th Stoneforge Mystic. This looks pretty good. Yeah, the EEs have been good for me too. But I just kind of wanted to make room for Pithing Needles. Largely, like, just to give me extra cards for the Tron matchup, but just being a bit more versatile. There's one other thing I really wanted. Oh, this is also for Heliod. Like, having, like, kind of more dedicated sideboard cards for Heliod felt good. And I already have a million cards for like most of the explosive matchups that aren't specifically Hammer Time. And that's not like Hammer Time is just unbeatable without them. But explosives are good. Did I play a Breach League? No, I just hung out with Esther instead. I watched Everos play a Breach League. But I ended up just feeling a bit too burned out to play a Breach League. Yeah, I think Jun's okay, Corey, as it often is, but Heliod is such a good deck. Yeah, I think Heliod is the best deck. I agree. I also think that not enough people are playing Blight Beetle in their sideboard, though. So if you're a Jund player trying to beat Heliod, might I suggest the sideboard tech of Blight Beetle, which I think is the best sideboard card against them. I'm gonna play Hierarch on turn 1. Yeah, Mono Blue Devotion is my favorite deck in Pioneer, Abi. I love playing it. I remember I did a ton of work on the deck when Pioneer was fun before Theros came out. And I played it probably for too long. I think my chat was kind of tired of it at a certain point, but I love that deck. pretty good draw. I think I want to play Anthonize plus Ice-Fang / Mana Leak this turn, but that's a pretty good draw. Oh wait, can't they just... They can change the target to Spellskite, they can give it pro white. Oh, I always forget how this works. This sucks. This is so good. Wow. That's going to be tough to beat. Gloss Slot, 4 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. I mean, we can bounce her on to nice with Teferi, I guess. Yikes. Yeah, I get to shock them. It's pretty good. I probably need to force this. Guess I'm going to pitch the Teferi. How do you beat this? 2 removal spells, I guess. Oh, that's how you beat that. Awesome. Well, we'd be in way, way, way better shape if we... am I naming Giver? Or I think I'm naming Giver because I can actually, like, the Ice-Fang blocking is so relevant here. Or giving protection from the Ice-Fang. Do wish I had that Teferi in my hand, but I think we're okay. Them having access to Lurrus is tough too. They put the Lurrus into their hands, so I'm gonna hope to draw a Mana Leak, I guess. Well, if we're going to draw a land, I guess that was the one we wanted to draw. But land into land's pretty bad. Hard to complain too much, though, when we've punted as hard as we have. Still have game 3 to play. Queller would have been a really good draw, too. Should have asked for that. Opponent, no fear of my last card. Gets Sigarda's Aid into play. Alright, they don't put a hammer on the Giver. A little late, Spell Queller, but welcome to the party. Hey Reba, thank you for your 3 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Very nice of you. Yeah, every time we play against Hammer, chat has a hard time. Should I Spell Queller this Bauble so they just can't keep looping it? Probably not, but maybe. I think we're going to save it for the Hammer here. Spec is done, so I went 4-1 into back 5-0. Yeah, I think this deck is great, Luis. I'm glad that you're having success with it. Do you have a current list? Yeah, if you exclamation point deck, it's there. It's just a challenge. Challenges are not high enough stake events to, like, hide my deck list. So if they cast their Hammer here and equip it to Spellskite, then these trade and then they cast the Spellskite from the graveyard, which isn't that good for us, but I think I'll just still Queller this. Sideboard guide win. I'll try to work on it tomorrow, actually. I actually feel like I can put a sideboard guide together for this deck. Whereas, like, in recent weeks, it's just seemed difficult to do something like that because the meta has been a bit weird. But I actually feel like I could put one together. They're equipping onto the Giver, so they're not going to get to kill my Ice-Fang. I don't like this decision. They conceded. What the hell was this concession? My opponent is super ahead here. What? That just happened. I know that they should have equipped us the Spell Skite, but my opponent is super ahead here. Even with this mistake, my opponent is very, very ahead. These have been the easiest 2 matches of a challenge I've played in months and months. The easiest first 2 matches. I don't understand. To working on this, but somebody give me a good grindy card, not Red Gear Hulk. Ideally like a 4 or 5 mana spell.
Are you working on another deck in between?
Yes.
I see. Look at it, look. She says, "Well, there's a bunch of stuff on the floor here. I guess this is a bed now."
Playing against Jingatha the Wellspring, which is either Mono Green Tron or something else. It's Zoo. I was not expecting Zoo. This has been a really weird challenge.
I think she doesn't mind the crab claws. I thought she would hate them. But she doesn't mind them. The crab claws.
She doesn't like them when I wear them.
Oh. Well, I'm the crab queen, so.
I see.
You are trying to take my...
Yeah, it could be Tribal Flame Zoo. Okay, I gotta focus, sweetheart.
Okay.
Be gone with you. Or sit there quietly with your crab claws. Burgie? Burgie's actually kind of interesting. Maybe the first Burgie's good in that deck. Experimental Frenzy. Does Frenzy play well with fires? I don't think it does. Everything we play in that deck has to play with fires. Who just plays Simulacrum? Card feels a little underpowered to me. Card Scion of Urza? I'm kind of down for one of those, yeah. Right, they couldn't get Sacred Foundry off of Verdant Catacombs. And we get to Goyf. Sorry, we get to Batterskull here. Still don't have a blue card for this Force. This has been like the weirdest start to any challenge I've ever played. Where we're 2-0, we're just playing against like... We played against Enduring Ideal round 1. Round 2 we played against Hammer Time. And they like just punt. They were super ahead in game 2. They made a small mistake, and it seemed like they just shame conceded to a small mistake, which was bizarre. So they know I have this Batterskull. I think I'm just not blocking. Or maybe we could block the 1/2 Tarmogoyf with Stoneforge Mystic. That's probably a fine block. Cosmos Elixir. That's probably going to be a sideboard card with Karn. I like Cosmos Elixir a lot. I'm super high on the card. We'd also probably play like Chariot in the sideboard and just cast it off of fires. I kind of don't mind that either. 3-mana Chandra that can flashback could be cool with fires. We might be low. I like that card a lot. We might be low on spells to flashback with it though. Is my opponent main decking Kolaghan's Command? This kind of feels like a Kolaghan's Command to me, so I'm going to try to play around. Opponent's deck is weird. Is Crawling Barrens better than Faithless Haven? Faithless Haven, we have snow synergies for Faithless Haven, so I think Haven's better. But Crawling Barrens is a really good Magic card. Oh, Scion. Let me go ahead and just add the Karn Scion, and then we'll work on the sideboard. We'll probably play a league if we get bored with the mono blue one.
Wait, what happened to the? Are you still playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My opponent's just playing really slowly, so I'm getting bored and doing other stuff. I think my opponent's just playing 4-color Zoo. They have a Jingatha as a companion, and it's kind of nice because like this, like revealing this makes your opponent think that they're on mono green Tron, and then they may mulligan to a hand that's good against mono green Tron and then get Zoo'd. Is Siege Rhino playable in Pioneer? I mean, it's playable. It's just not that good.
Crab Queen gives you energy.
Thank you, Crab Queen.
Blesses you with
So they just 100% have Kolagon's command, right?
crustacean. Wisdom.
Thank you, Crab Queen.
You are well deserving of this crustacean.
I think I'm blocking the Goyf over the Coatl. Feels like we win the game. Coatl number 2. Yeah, we're kind of flooded here, but we do just have the ability to bounce Batterskull and put it back into play this turn. And my opponent's at 12. We're, this is a 6-point swing or 12-point swing. How about Glorybringer for the Fires deck? I feel like Cavalier is better in like that 5-drop spot. We could maybe play one Glorybringer's like Ring of 3 Wishes for. It's probably not that relevant. We get like main deck of Golos, maybe. They're playing Stoneforge Mystic too? Huh. Stoneforge just seems weird in their deck. They have to chump block when we attack next turn. I don't think we have any draws that just kill them though. If we get sort of Feast and Famine, yes, getting sort of Feast and Famine makes my opponent chump block with Stoneforge Mystic this turn. And then if they just cast the Batterskull next turn, they're dying. Because the Germ token is black. Maybe not good to tap this, I'm not sure. This does, of course, open us up to like another copy of Kolagon's command, but I mean, I think that's fine. Watch out for Flamekin Zealot. Oh man, what a weird league. And this has been a super weird challenge. Alright, so against 4-color Zooblade, we're going to bring in the Paths and the Gargaroths for sure. Probably still want to play like at least the first Force, although Veil of Summer is also good against Kolagon's command. I guess I'd rather play like the first Veil before the first Force. I think I'd want no Borrower's Quellers, I want 2 Teferis, no Jace. Auriok Champion doesn't seem that good against them. We didn't actually see any red creatures, but they probably have some. Probably good to play the Auriok Champions. You're a little confused about the Lobster? Me too. I just tried to ignore it for the most part. Maybe 2 Force of Negations. It's a good tempo play. I bought, me and Esther, you can grab my set maybe. Although I think one of the claws is on the table. I only need 1 claw right now, I guess. But I bought me and Esther matching crab claw hands for our anniversary. And I don't know, Esther's just fun and chaotic. This hand's not very good. I think I'm gonna mulligan. This hand's way better. I think I'm gonna keep. I think I'm putting back Teferi with this hand. Could see Teferi being better than the Toski, but Toski's just so good.
You mean with this claw?
What?
With
This claw, not this hand. Yeah. Got it. No, I don't mean that.
No. With this claw.
Don't think I want to path on turn 1. Tap Sacred Foundry, attack for 3. I think I'm just going to play Stoneforge Mystic here. I really like that they don't have Lightning Bolt up right now, and if they path my Stoneforge Mystic, we win the game on the spot, which is always nice. It's a bit hyperbolic, but how it feels usually. Okay, Tribal Flame Stoneforge, which is fine. Wild Coatl gets to hit us for 3 more points. Alright, so I think I'm going to play Noble Hierarch this turn. Hold up Path and get Glacial Floodplain with this. Then we can either cast... We can Toski attack for 1 next turn, or we can just slam Batterskull if those Hierarch lives also. My opponent hit Kolaghan's Command off Bloodbraid Elf, which is really good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to path my own Hierarch here. I know this is a bit weird, but this just lets us slam the Batterskull next turn. And I think just kind of being in on the Batterskull is going to be our line. Or is Gargaroth better? Now that we've drawn Gargaroth. Gargaroth probably dies to less things, so doesn't die to Kolaghan's Command. I think it also would have been fine to like path Coatl, go to 9, cast Toski, but yeah, it also doesn't die to Tribal Flames. They cast another copy of Bloodbraid Elf. They hit Wild Coatl, so we are not dying. And I'm not even sure if it's good for them to attack here. They decide that it is good for them to attack. I have to choose the gain 3 life mode. It's probably better to play Batterskull over Toski, but Toski is a guaranteed blocker. We could also draw something else to do. And then if we play this, like they can't... Kolaghan's Command is still like just not that good. I guess they don't have black mana for Kolaghan's Command. All right, that's gonna make me want to play the Batterskull, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I do just kind of see some scenarios where we die if we cast the Batterskull, but I think it's better to do this. I'm also going to choose the gain 3 life mode so I don't die to a Bolt or a Helix. Batterskull lets you attack with Equipped Elder next turn. That's true. Yeah, I saw that Croaky's is playing Toski in Standard, which is really cool. Card is so good. There's the 3rd Bloodbraid Elf. We're probably beating Bloodbraid Elf, right? They hit Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we beat Bolt here. We got on the 3, blocking, so yeah, easily beating Bolt. Yeah, it would not have beat Kolaghan's Command, right? It's true. Or is it true? Shock us down to 4, we gain 7, take 9, yeah, we're dead to Kolaghan's Command. They should bolt the Elder? Probably yeah. Probably yeah. But if they bolt Elder, can we just not block? If they bolt Elder, we just block here, take 9, gain 4 up to 10, go to 1, and still have Elder Gargaroth in play. We'd be dead to land Lightning Bolt if that was the case. Might just be better to block anyways. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if suiting up Gargaroth is correct next turn either, if we choose not to block, because we do get to gain 10, but then we just lose to Path. You're dead to Bolt no matter what. That's true. If they had Lightning Bolt, we'd be dead no matter what. So it's probably just better to go to 1. No, if they had another Bolt, they would just Bolt my Gargaroth, and then... Well, I guess I'm not dead to that. If they had another Bolt, they could have double bolted Germ Token. I think I block here, go to 9, take 9. Yeah, I would be dead to another Bolt. So Or just bolt me twice because I'm at 6, of course. Never mind. Yeah, so I think we just go to... Man, equipping Gargaroth seems so cool. I just don't know if it's the right play. We also get to put our opponent to 2 here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play Toski. We get to draw 2 cards. I think I'll gain 3 off the Gargaroth kind of as a head. Toski. Opponent should be playing Toski in their deck. Okay, we're probably going to defeat Tireless Tracker. I have a feeling that we can defeat Tracker. Still dead to double Tribal Flames. I mean, if my opponent had Tribal Flames in their hand last turn, they probably would have cast it. Maybe not. Maybe they cast Bloodbraid instead. Yeah, but I think both lines are pretty close. But we are 3-0, and I don't think have lost a game this challenge yet, which is very cool. Nice to have another good run today. Although this has been a bizarre challenge. This has been a bizarre adventure. Playing against Allurius, I think I'm putting back second Queller. Let me just wait a second on the deck tech. I'm double queuing, and hopefully we can just kind of end this game real quick. Reflection is 2. Oh, I thought it was 3. I really thought it was 3. Okay. Then you're right. Yeah, no, that does make it better than I had evaluated it. Yeah, I was under the impression it was 3 mana. Don't know why. If I block here, they can pump the human to kill my Thassa's Oracle, and then I don't have enough devotion. Oh, I do have enough devotion to keep Thassa alive, so we'll just block. We'll block here. Gonna turn 1 Inquisitions me in the challenge. Be cool to draw a Glasspool Mimic or another Master of Waves. I don't know if the green-red Prowess deck is playable. Definitely a show for how long you've been following, if that was the deck that had you follow. Ah, got my wish. Got my wish. Is my opponent dead? I don't think so. Oh, they conceded though. Thank goodness, so I can just play my match. They took the Queller? Alright, so for this deck, blue-red Through the Breach. I like 4 Through the Breach, 4 Emrakul I have. I don't really like Fire Prophecy, especially when Valakut's Awakening is legal, and I really think Valakut's Awakening is great in this deck. Grixis is interesting. I think I'm just discarding the Borrower. Maybe I could have discarded on the Nice. Kind of feel like that card's a premium card if they are playing as heavy a creature deck as I think they are. I'm not a big fan of the main deck Anger of the Gods either. But here's my or something close to my list. I didn't really update it, but I like this mana base a lot. What I like about this mana base is playing no fetch lands makes you better against the Scourge decks. Playing no fetch lands is better with the Madcap Experiment package, which is great in this deck. Playing no fetch lands also means you're not shuffling fetch lands back into your deck when you Emrakul. And being able to play 4 Cascade Bluffs allows you to play Valakut Awakening and Archmage's Charm, which is a big deal. So I really prefer this mana base in Breach. Even now that Mystic Sanctuary is gone and you're less incentivized to dodge Boil and play Boil. And Remand is better than Mana Leak. I play 4 Remands, probably 0 Mana Leaks in Breach. The Thoughtseize my Jace. It's Grixis Shadow. I mean, Shadow doesn't usually play Kroxa. They don't also usually play Lurrus. It looks like a Grixis control deck. What updates have I made to the list? This list? Got 2 Pithing Needles in the sideboard now. Compared to yesterday, that's the only change. Just discard onto Nice, I think. So I can cast Toski if I draw it. Looks like some kind of Arcanist deck. Yeah, it does. I follow Diablo on Twitter. This is a fellow streamer. Diablo is usually usually brews and has interesting decks. Mulliganing on the play against a deck like this, pretty brutal.
I'm a princess.
Mm-hmm. You are. Are you gonna be late?
I'm about to go.
Okay. Yeah. I know that there are fewer boils now, but I think that mana base is very good with the Madcap plan and the Through the Breach plan. I think it specifically plays really well with like what the deck is trying to do already. So I think you still want to be on it. All right, big draw step. Well, Remand's really good against Kroxa, so not the worst one. Do I have a sideboard guide for this deck? Not yet. I'm going to try to work on it tomorrow if I have time. I may be busy. Kind of depends on some stuff. Okay, have a good day, sweetheart. Yeah, if they just jam Kroxa, the Remand is going to be really good here. One of the best possible draws, maybe. I guess if they have a land and they just go land, make me discard my spell, it could be bad. Yeah, their deck is interesting. Sword of Fire and Ice, not the best draw. Oh, I should have gotten a snow land for... should have definitely gotten a snow land for Ice-Fang. But Onto Ice was a good draw. To play Sword of Fire and Ice. Their Croaks in their hand is not doing very much. They don't have Lurrus in their hand yet. I think I am attacking. Have I made changes to the Breach list at all? Not yet, but I would still play something very similar. Like the main deck would probably be almost exactly the same. And I would be playing less boils in the sideboard. I feel like we've looked at this before, 9-ball, or is this updated? Looks very similar. So they can escape Kroxa, put me down to 5. Okay. They're dead to Noble Hierarch off the top, though. Batterskull. Huh. I guess we're casting Batterskull and chumping with it. Yeah, 9-ball, didn't you already redeem this? Like, I think you don't want to play the Peatland. I probably also wouldn't play Bitter Blossom, but that's just because I'm a hater who hates fun. We're dead to Bolt. Dead to Push. Miss Lethal. If I equip the sword here, it's 5 damage. My opponent says 6. But they were dead if I drew Noble Hierarch, which is what I said. I'd also probably just play more Damping Spheres and no Ashioks. Unless you fear a lot of Dredge, then maybe this is a blind split. But I think Damping Sphere is like much better against Tron. You probably have a hard time against Tron too. What am I doing here? Probably just equipping Batterskull, attacking for 5, putting my opponent to 1, and then we don't have to chump block next turn. My opponent doesn't have Push or Bolt in their hand; they would have killed me. Did I play Blue Castle? No, I don't think so. I think that you probably just like don't get to play utility lands in Sultai, but maybe not. Maybe play Castle Locked Wayne. Yeah, but the deck does look good. They put one card on bottom, one card on top. Not blocking, I think. Yeah, we'll just beat that to Bolt. They didn't have Bolt last turn. If Bolt's on top, they can kill me now that on my upkeep. They play Luris. Sack Bobble. They did keep a card on top, so I'm feeling pretty dead here. Yep. Stinks. When am I doing my cameo on Encounter Party? I already did. I did it on Wednesday. Yeah, definitely a close game. I think I don't want Quellers in this matchup. Their deck's interesting. I like Mana Leaks on the play. I can see going down 4th Stoneforge, cutting Sword of Fire and Ice too. I often do that against like very removal heavy decks. Maybe I only want to play like 2 Auriok Champions. Oh yeah, probably want to trim on Force. Maybe just play like the first Force, because it is sometimes good when you do draw Stoneforge. I think this matchup's probably fine. But mulliganing on the play was really tough there. I wonder if it's crazy to just say I'm going to be on the draw. I kind of like choosing to draw. No, I think with Mana Leak and them having Arcanist, I'll be on the play. Yeah. That's probably the deciding factor. But I do not think it would be crazy to choose to draw here. But if I just can't Mana Leak their Arcanist, it's so bad that I'm gonna... Oh, also Veil of Summer wants you to be on the play. Never mind. Never mind. GDFGHD. Hope you have a good day, buddy. Appreciate ya. Toski also better on the play. Toski is good. Play, draw. You're right, better on the play. Yeah, Toski, on the nice Ice-Fang, Teferi, Time Raveler all seem like excellent. Veil of Summer also seem like excellent cards in this kind of matchup. But you can definitely lose. When you bring an Elder against creature decks, you know, like human spirits, Swift Spear decks, Dredge, really good against Dredge. Kind of a medium hand, but I think we keep it. So it would be pretty good if the Batterskull was like almost any other spell. What was Needle in the sideboard for? Tron and Heliod mostly, which both seem to be kind of tough matchups. But you could also bring it in against like Hammer Time, Rin and 6 decks. Cast Serum Vision's opponent. Inquisition's probably not so bad here. Was Ashrak not coming much? Yeah, I wasn't playing against like almost any Titan decks. I was definitely like, I really thought Titan was more popular than it was. Went down to 13. Serum Visions. It's probably a game where being on the draw would have been better. Maybe not. Not sure you want to be attacking against them. I think with double Anthonice in my hand, I do. Their version is way more controlling than an average Shadow deck, and I'm also like, my hand is good against the card Death Shadow. I do feel like it's a conversation, though. Let's cover themselves. Milling over Arcanist Mire. Draw land, I'm going to play the Skull. Did not draw the land. Yeah, I follow Diablo. Diablo's a good streamer, a good brewer. One card on top, one card on bottom. Yeah, we're pretty behind here. It's like Lurrus as a companion is such a beating. Do they play Scourge as well? I doubt it. It's like kind of hard to play Scourge without Swift Spear. It's not a bad draw. If my opponent one mana removal spells my Stoneforge Mystic, I'll path it. Is this even Shadow? They had Shadow last game, so I think so. We just need to be able to cast Toski or Batterskull if we draw a land. Like this turn's a land, next turn into a good draw. Every land in our deck enters untapped. Path to Exile confirmed, better than on thin ice. Arcanist is really scary though. It just kills my Germ token. Yeah, probably not beating Arcanist. Don't think I mana leak this. I can just pay and get 2 cards out of my hand. If I mana leak, they know my exact hand and they just pay. So we draw Teferi Time Raveler, we bounce this. I think I'm gonna Ice-Fang main phase. I know that like it's kind of bad against the Arcanist trigger, but we could draw on thin ice. Okay, now we're dead. Tough game, tough game. Fall down to 3-1 in the challenge. I believe this is 7 rounds, right? 137 players is 7 rounds. Oh, I forgot the GGs. If anybody about starting like endless discussions about keeping one-landers, I think that this is a keep in the blind on the draw. I think this is a keep. Hand's really good, even if we draw the second land, even if the Hierarch dies. If the Hierarch doesn't die, the hand's still fine. Or if the Hierarch doesn't die, the hand is fine. Against a mulligan to 5, I'm really happy I kept this. Yeah, Seth Mansfield tweeted out today, never mulligan. I think it was Seth. I might be misremembering. Seth is a good person to listen to. Okay, so this is Titan Shift. Very interesting. Never mulliganing paid off for us. Probably going to Queller this search for tomorrow. Notably, I've cut the Ash Shocks from the sideboard today. They would have been... they would have really helped this matchup, of course. Against the Mold of 5, I'm like really excited to counter this. I mean, Amulet Titan I think is more popular than Red Green Titan Shift. Just people are playing this deck again. Dryad. Dryad's pretty fine, I think. They've got 1 card left in their hand. And it does not appear to be Valakut. Not going to tap out here. Get my opponent for 3. I'll Spell Queller any target. Can mana leak a Titan here, and they can cast Titan because they have Castle Ardenvale. They do nothing. I'm probably going to play Ice-Fang over Petty Thefting Dryad. I could also just play Borrower and attack for 5. It's kind of close. It's kind of close. I think I like just casting the Borrower, actually. Also Petty Theft this. Is Damping Sphere needed? I think Damping Sphere is like streets ahead of playing a card like Lavinia or Canonist. Like the card is like largely for the Tron matchup and the Amulet Titan matchup, and Lavinia and Canonist aren't really good against either of those decks. It's like we're not playing it for Storm. I know this taps us out of Queller, but like Mana Leak / Force can counter basically everything anyways. Opponent plays a tapped Cinderglade. Let's get the Ice-Fang here. How about Galactic against the big mana decks? It's not good against Amulet Titan, and it's like not that good against Tron. It's okay. But Damping Sphere is good against both, and so like just getting to play that is really big. I think I'm playing Stoneforge Mystic. Shouldn't really matter though. Mana Leak + Force beats basically everything game 1, right? Record versus Doom? What do you mean? If you mean Doom like the MTGO user, you have to be like way more specific because there's 1,000 of them. And if you're talking about like Doom for Told, I don't know. I also don't know. I also don't know my record against any Doom players. I've played against all of them a bunch. I have no idea. Even beat main deck Veil of Summer here. Any value from Teague hitting control decks too? I mean, a little bit, but like Tron is like a popular matchup and a really bad matchup for you too. So I think like it's way more relevant to play the spheres to hedge against that. Yeah, I don't have Ashioks on my board anymore. We did win game 1, but I'm really missing the Ashioks right now. I had them up until like exactly this this tournament. I think I want to play Onthanice over Path in this matchup. Can be a bit awkward because sometimes you need to kill Dryad immediately, but just not giving them a land when they can naturally Valakut you seems really big. And you also don't need to stop a Hasty Titan. Yeah, the idea is Damping Sphere is good against Amulet Titan and Tron decks, so you don't need Ashiok as much, or Gust. And like Gust is worse without Snapcasters, but maybe that's the payoff to be playing Titan Shift, which is what our opponent is doing. This matchup is also definitely still winnable without like all the sideboard cards, so that's something to consider too here. Like, our main deck is not that bad against them, and we did win game 1. Although they did mulligan to 5. And this hand is great. This hand is about as good as it gets. Maybe my opponent will suspend Search for tomorrow, and we'll get to turn 2 to Teferi, stop them from resolving their suspend spell. And my opponent was also mulligan to 6 on the play. No turn 1 suspend. I think I'm just getting basic forest here. We have plenty of lands in hand. Sort of Feast and Famine is also usually pretty good against them. I think my opponent would have bolted if they had it. I could play... yeah, I mean, I'm playing Stoneforge Mystic, but it's possible playing Teferi was better this turn. I don't think I'm supposed to force that. We can't kill them here, but we can bounce the Dryad and just kind of time walk them. Toski. And then we get to start sort of feast and famining them with counterspells up. So you're saying that maybe Stoneforge was a mistake? I'm not sure what part of my rambling implied that, but I have no idea what I've been saying. Just all no filter. Discard Search for tomorrow. They still have a Dryad in their hand that we know about, in which we can maybe go Remand into Mana Leak. I think you misread what I said. That Stoneforge was playing the Stoneforge was a mistake. You mean yeah, maybe playing Teferi was better. I'm not sure. I think it ended up being fine. I think if they played Titan, I'm remanding. I'm not sure. I guess we want the remand for the Dryad. So the hand is Dryad, mystery card. Oh, Stoneforge Mystic, yeah, sorry. Kind of hard to... I don't know, I'm always pretty bad at interpreting chat. Anyways. Our hand was really good and they mulliganed on the play. It's probably not always this easy. You definitely want to play Dryad before land. Well, they had the Pact for the Dryad, right? Or do you mean like Dryad before the Titan? Escape Shift. Well, I'll just remand this, right? And then they can't replay it, and then we get to make them discard it. They're also just dead. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Really weird challenge so far. Put it on the bottom. Get it later. I'm gonna mulligan this. Put it kept 7. Probably putting back Toski with this hand. So I do think my opponent usually plays control decks. I think you're just supposed to put back the 4-drop here. Steam Vents go. Blue Moon? Thought Scourers themselves revealing Manamorpho, so probably a combo deck of some kind, right? So this is going to be like Pyromancer's Ascension. Could just be Prowess, but it looks like just like Pyromancer's Ascension. Wow. Really cool. I mean, my Force of Negation is a super premium card here, and I could just Petty Theft this. So I think I'm not forcing. I think we get Batterskull here over Sword, because we have the second Stoneforge. I feel like if we're doing the thing with all Deep Fiend, you should be winning. Yeah, maybe. I think piring Deep Fiend into Void Winter is, I agree, maybe a bit too much of a pipe dream for it to actually be good, but also like most of the like brewing I try to do in between rounds of these challenges, admittedly is like just trying to be for fun. So I don't really mind so much, I guess. I don't think my opponent plays Blood Moon. But if I did think they played Blood Moon, I'd play Flooded Strand here. We could force this, but I think force is probably a bit too important to counter the Ascension on the way down. Kind of feel like I'm committed to this. Is the one Jace for outs to Infinite Life? That's the main reason, yes. Oh, we win. Awesome. Maybe that joke will get old at some point. Is it possible we can just slam Toski here? Seems very dangerous. But it might be the play. Because if we can draw a land, we can Petty Theft plus Queller it on the way down and maybe have Force up too. Need Force for Underworld Breach? Yeah, I haven't seen Canister's list. I feel bad asking chat for lists like in the middle of the stream, you know, because they know the deck and I don't. So I try not to ask. Is there a chance we Queller into 5th land Sword? That's true too, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the higher upside play. My opponent only has 3 cards. I still have Force up. And like, if they're holding up Remand here, the Toski is pretty good. They do Shock. So hoping for no Thought Scour here. They Lightning Bolt me, wow. That's terrifying. This is an Underworld Breach deck? I shouldn't be asking. I'll just play. This has been a really cool challenge. We've played against 6 different decks now. Like, most of them are just, like, interesting brews, too. I think we have to let this go. They did have Remand. Alright, I'm going to wait and Petty Theft their Ascension on their end of turn. And then next turn, Stoneforge with Queller up. Well, if I have to force pitching the Queller, it's a bit worse, I guess. I might not need to force the Ascension if they only have 2 cards in their hand. Actually. Is that true? Feels incredibly close to me. I'm going to force it. Feels like a very close decision, though. Pretty bad draw. Oh no, I played Mana Traders. No, now they know I have a Stoneforge. Then now they know my exact hand. All right, they had another Ascension anyways. Oh, this is a huge punt. I think this is a huge punt. I'm not 100% sure, but just letting me Petty Theft the Ascension again seems like such a good exchange for me. Do I want to try to Jace and draw a blue source? They only have 1 card in their hand. Oh, they had Manamorphose in their hand? Feeling lucky. Feeling lucky was a mistake. Still fine with the force up, I think. They've got 2 cards in their hand. It's pretty unlikely we die with the force. I've been pretty happy. I think I'm gonna just let the Jace die. I've been pretty happy with 3 force main, 1 force side. No way, they don't have Manamorphose. Their hand was Bolt Manamorphose. Ah. Guess I'm gonna force this copy and hope that their other Manamorphose doesn't give them anything too crazy. I'm glad I didn't force the Jace because this was the worst case scenario. Or force the Bolt on the Jace. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, Petty Theft, Stoneforge, draw, Fire Ice, or maybe I was supposed to hardcast the Batterskull first, actually. It's kind of more mana efficient. Make them discard the second Pyromancer's Ascension, not that it's really doing that much. And is it better to cast Sword of Fire and Ice and Brazen Borrower or Batterskull? I guess this... I mean, both are lethal with the sword next turn, but this is just a bit more mana efficient. Is this deck really good at the end? I don't know what you mean by at the end, but I really, really like my deck, yeah. My opponent play Cryptic Command? Lightning Bolt's my Brazen Borrower. Puts a counter here. Toski. Alright, opponent, you got a counter on your Ascension. Good luck. They're like Spell Queller or Skyclave Apparition in the main deck of Blue-White Sharkblade. Probably Skyclave. Like, the main reason I'm not playing it in this deck is that it makes the mana much worse. Interesting question though. I don't know what their sideboard plan is. I probably want to play like the first Damping Sphere, but I'm not that interested in drawing multiple copies. But I'm probably just happy enough to draw one copy of Damping Sphere. And I don't want to play Anthonice, and every other card is decent against them. Teferi's very good. Also going to use the restroom real quick. BRB. They bring in Mentor. Maybe beat Mentor. Well, I keep this hand if I could cast Hierarchs off of that basic island. Well, this has been terrible. Damn it, Mold of 4. Although it's like not a bad Mold of 4, I guess. Opponent kept 7. Just like 3 completely unkeepable hands. We are on the draw. We have an okay hand. Diothard, 9 months. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Noble on the bottom because Bolt. I mean, Force of Negation, Batterskull, and what was the other card? All 3 of my cards were like pretty bad on the Mold of 4. I think you could keep the Hierarch. What was the third? What was the other card I put on the bottom? I remember thinking it was just a very straightforward mulligan decision, but I can't remember what the third card was. Land. That's interesting. Keeping third land over Hierarch. I don't hate it. Not really sure what's better, honestly. Groovy Shoes, cool username. Thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription as well. Hope you're having a good day today. Stoneforge Mystic has the highest upside? Maybe. Maybe. And maybe not. Just Manowar gifting 20 subs? What the hell? Big thank you for sure. That's crazy. You got anything you want to say, Just Manowar? I'm gonna attack for 1 here. Just having a lot of fun. Me too, buddy. I'll probably let the level 5 hype train, crazy. I'll probably let the music play for a bit, but mute it after a couple plays. Is Ice better than Famine Sword? I think so when I'm very low on resources here. I think I'd prefer to have Sword of Fire and Ice. Maybe opponent will repeal my Damping Sphere and I'll get to Veil of Summer. So if I draw a land, I can protect the Sword of Fire and Ice from a counterspell, but instead I drew the best card in my whole deck. Toski! Help, Toski! I've mulliganed to 4! Oh, seeing Mentor is good to know. I'm not sure. We probably want like 2 copies of Anthonize. Maybe play Path instead. Thanks again, Just Manowar. Really, really nice of you. A cool 20 subs. Huge thank you for the cheer. I turned off the notification sound just so that you guys don't get sick of the loop. But definitely way better than like the old notification. Hey, it's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike sounds. I believe that this event is 8 rounds of Swiss, so including this match, we have 3 more rounds of Swiss. Will-O-Wisp, thank you for your Twitch Prime as well. Do I feel like my opponent has Path to Exile here? I guess I'm not. I'm just like not playing around it. It's really not that bad a exchange for us. It's not that good of an exchange. We just still have this in play. We have 2 creatures to equip onto. Maybe they'll play Monastery. I mean, like, if they have Monastery Mentor, it's not very good. We've also been pretty lucky that they both have, like, they don't have extra lands to play, and they don't have an active Ascension. But that might change soon. Although Damping Sphere does help a bit. Damping Sphere does help a bit. I wonder if we could play Thalia in this deck. Like 1 or 2 Thalias. I used to like that in Bant Spirits. I guess we're not as creature heavy. They abrade my Sword of Fire and Ice. Well, that stinks. It's so bad for us. Yeah, poor Veil of Summer. I guess we just cut the Veils in game 3. They are playing some amount of counter spells, but just doesn't really seem like enough to justify this card. Manamorphose, much worse with Damping Sphere out. Second Ascension, not very good. Still can't cycle this. That's a good draw though. Teferi, help! I mulled to 4. And I'm just paying 3, right? No, I guess I'll just Veil. I mean, Veil's not getting too much better. Like this, like, does it really matter? Well, actually getting to cycle the Veil is important, and this could like let us draw Noble Hierarch and attack for 1 more point of damage or something like that. I can't play this Sword of Feast and Famine this turn because of the Damping Sphere. Juice box, 300 bits. Appreciate all the support, guys. Doesn't mean the world to me. Ah, forgot about the sphere. Third Ascension. Wow, their hand is so bad. So we get to put them down to 1 card in their hand and 6 life. Drawing a land is obviously not good, but it's hard to complain too much.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
They discard a Scalding Tarn. Kind of surprised they had a Tarn in their hand. They were missing land drops. Guess it makes some sense.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Yeah, it's hard to complain that we've drawn this well when we mulled to 4. We've already complained about mulliganing to 4, so it's hard to complain anymore. If I missed any of the, you know, notifications, don't take it personally, please. Is this lightning bolts, and they're deciding to kill my Teferi or kill my Hierarch?
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
It's Manamorphose. It's Underworld Breach. Oh boy. But I believe they can only cast 1 spell with this, right? Nice. That spell is Abrade to kill my Damping Sphere. Interesting. My opponent also probably shouldn't have played this tapped. I guess, never mind. They were discarding it to sword. Never mind. We've also drawn 2 lands in a row, so maybe we're getting back to complaint territory. But my opponent, if they draw a brick here, they lose, and they have to chain stuff together here to win. They drew Manamorphose? The perfect draw. Although, I mean, they have to if there's a brick underneath this, they lose too. But they're you know, it's gonna be an interesting game. That says GG's. Well, winning it on the mulligan to 4. Thank you, Toski. Very cool. It's been an awesome challenge so far. Played against 6 really cool decks. We haven't played like we've played against Enduring Ideal, Hammer Time. What was match? Oh, was match 3? No, match 3 wasn't Titan Shift. Enduring Ideal, Hammer Time, Mystery Deck. Grixis, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Shadow. Awesome. I guess we have a keepable hand here. It's pretty hard to mulligan, like turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic with Force up. Let's finish this real quick. They play Sun Petal Grove, so their hand is Decay, Jingotha, Kaya, Deafening Clarion, which kills them if we just tap. Oh, they're just dead. Yeah, we just attack with both creatures. Right? know their hand exactly, so my opponent, yeah, just keeps. Cool. Alright. Playing against Hammer Time again. Ice-Fang is really good against Hammer Time, and Force is okay. Love to draw blue source. Teferi is fine too. I'm not sure if I'm pitching Ice-Fang or Teferi though. I think Ice-Fang is like so good against Hammer Time that I probably just want to pitch Teferi if I need to force a Sigarda's Aid. Well, Pure Steel Paladin's probably pretty good against our draw. Still haven't found a white source. Maybe my opponent will help me out and path my Stoneforge Mystic. I think we get Sophie. Kind of close. Now I'm pitching Remand though. I'll force a Hammer. I'll force Sigarda's Aid. Don't know if I'd force Cranial Plating. Alright, blue source again off the top would just be like such a big deal here. Hell yeah. Awesome. Feels so good. I'm pretty sure that we're going to Teferi bounce Pure Steel Paladin. Slow the game down a bit. Interesting draw. Leave this back to block the Min-Might. I think we have a fine Hammer Time matchup, although I did cut the Engineered Explosives that have been in the sideboard for a long time. That would help this matchup out. What are you going to do? Replay their Paladin, play Inkmoth Nexus, and hopefully they can figure out which Inkmoth Nexus doesn't have Summoning Sickness so they can kill Teferi. Alright, they picked the right one. Sometimes that can be a problem, though. Pretty important draw step. Very interesting draw. I probably want to play Hierarch with the ability to cast Mana Leak or activate Stoneforge Mystic. But missing out on being able to Ice-Fang this turn is kind of disappointing because I would like to be able to Ice-Fang. They put Lurrus into their hand, which we can Mana Leak unless my opponent plays another land next turn. That's an interesting draw. Yeah, playing Ice-Fang this turn so I can equip onto Ice-Fang is probably better than equipping onto Stoneforge and just making them chump with a Min-Might. How's the Squirrel win? Squirrel's amazing. Squirrel's the best card in the deck. Please sack your Silent Clearing so I can Mana Leak your Lurrus. Main phase 1 and draw land. I mean, I don't think so because I might block Nexus with Ice-Fang. I might not. But also like holding up all this mana does like make my opponent have less information about what they're playing around. I think I Mana Leak this. Shadow Spear makes my Ice-Fangs much worse. And I would like to use my mana, all my mana this turn if I can. But they do get to play Lurrus. Not that but Lurrus is going to die to my Sword of Fire and Ice, so this is fine. Yeah, and drawing a land does not let us like do any extra things here. We don't have like a 3-drop to play. Yeah, I think we're pretty ahead here. We could still lose. Oh yeah, Shadow Spear kills Toski. No. The tech, the format is adjusting. I'm not really sure what my opponent's like tanking about here. Is it just like the pure? They might. I think they're just double queuing. Actually, I think they're just double queuing. They do have an attack here, but they could maybe be playing around Batterskull. Yeah, I think they're just double queuing. They said in chat earlier that they're double queuing. I've been preaching up the scroll deck for the past 2 weeks. No wonder people are coming prepared. That's a good draw. Also nice that our Ice-Fangs are death touching. Nice to be able to kill Luris. Probably get to kill Paladin next turn. We draw Anthonice. Anthonice is our best draw right now. Force of Negation is really good. Really hard for us to lose this from the spot probably. Although it's definitely possible. Don't jinx it. Ah! Oh no. Just trying to fill the dead air while our opponent's double queuing, honestly. It's a really good draw. Just like the ability to play Ice-Fang or put in Batterskull or Mana Leak is pretty nice. Not that the Mana Leak is incredible, but just like the versatility of options is nice. Hammer plus Path. Well, the thing is, like, we don't even lose to that, right? I guess we would lose to that, yeah, because of the Inkmoth Nexus. There are mass artifact destruction, but they're green and red and 4 mana. Oh, there's one white one that's green-white hybrid and 5 mana at instant speed. Yeah, so Inkmoth Nexus loses flying, but you can activate Inkmoth Nexus again to have it get flying back. Or you can I'm just letting this resolve. Or you can flash in Hammer with Sigarda's Aid at instant speed after your opponent has declared no blocks. If I draw a land, we can sort of feast and famine them. Did not draw the land, but we did draw a good card. Yeah, don't mind the chump block. It's gonna Anthonice and hold up Ice-Fang / Mana Leak. It's a good draw for them. Makes the Paladin immune to my sort of Fire and Ice hits, but then I just can see, okay. Alright, going to game 2. I bring in the Pithing Needles, which saved us in our earlier match against Hammer Time. This is the first time today we're playing against the same deck. Before this, it was 6 unique different decks. We played against Enduring Ideal, 4-color Zoo, Hammer Time, Grixis, Dreadhorde Arcanist Shadow, Red-Green Titan Shift, and... oh no, I've forgotten the last match. Oh, a Jeskai Ascendant, or sorry, a Pyromancer's Ascension combo, which was pretty cool. I want to cut the Remand, I want to cut the Jace, go down to 2 Toskis. I think I've also been cutting sort of Feast and Famine and the 4th Stoneforge Mystic in this matchup. Yeah, this looks like my previous plans, and it looks pretty good to me. We lost to the Grixis Dreadhorde Arcanist Shadow deck from fellow streamer Diablo, and then 3 letters that I can't remember. I'm sure someone in chat knows. I think that they're probably still streaming too. Enduring Ideal in this economy. Yeah, I don't really know why people ever play that deck. I think it really has zero good matchups. But you can't really blame people for playing their favorite deck, you know. But in game 1, my opponent got to trigger Enduring Ideal 3 times, and they just died to me attacking with a bunch of 1/1s. Pyromancer's Ascension was a real deck you fought. Yeah, we played against it last round. They were 4-1 last round. Diablo X SE, yeah. I like Diablo's stream. Diablo's a good streamer. There's a lot of brewing. I think it's very likely if we win this game, we can lose round 8 and still top 8. So we'll just concede and play more of the Eldrazi deck. Just kidding. What's the game in combo chain once you cast Enduring Ideal? I mean, it's like Form of the Dragon plus Dovescape, but it's so slow, and a lot of decks just ignore it. And sometimes you just draw your Dovescape, or you just draw your Form of the Dragon, and you just can't win. Was Colossus Hammer the only card that made Pure Steel Paladin deck viable? Well, I mean, it's more of a Colossus Hammer deck than a Pure Steel Paladin deck, but I guess, yeah. I mean, Lurrus is good. Lurrus is definitely a big reason why that deck is powerful. Giver of Runes, if you still consider that recent. IZ, 2 months in a row. Your streams are the best. Thank you for the kind words, buddy. Hope you're having a good day today. I'm definitely keeping turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Needle, double Ice-Fang. Specifically just double Ice-Fang, very good in this matchup. And Toski, very good with Ice-Fang. Keeping this. Yeah, there used to be a Pure Steel Paladin Shram deck that a very handsome deck builder worked on. That's not me. That's not me. Just a local hero of mine. Yeah, I think we have to force Shadow Spear. Again, it just makes the Ice-Fangs much worse. Losing an Ice-Fang also feels pretty bad. Attacking for 0. Oh, you know what? I probably should have just main phased this Ice-Fang. How do you spell Colossus? I don't know. There we go, Colossus. Here we go. But now that we've needled this, they can't. They just can't equip their hammer here. They can still Sigarda's Aid to put a hammer on a creature, so it's bad for us if they have that. But they haven't cast a Sigarda's Aid yet. What do you kneel in this matchup? You kneel Inkmoth Nexus, Giver of Runes, Spellskite, sometimes Mishra's Bauble if you're worried about Lurrus, but you can also if they're on Pure Steel Paladin, you can needle Hammer. So I think that in this spot we do that. I think we also they didn't attack my Teferi. I think my opponent's distracted with this double Q. I think they've made a few different errors here, and I guess I want to fetch. So I don't draw my Glacial Floodplain here. It'd be pretty bad to draw it, so let's just make sure we can't. Is it better to Toski and hold up Path, or just get sort of Fire and Ice going? Seems very close. I think I'll Toski hold up Path though. Seems like the safest line. Opponent's rooting for the squirrel. Hard not to root for the squirrel, I guess. So they've already used their Shadow Spear, so I guess they're going to get a Cranial Plating. They get Colossus Hammer. They have Sigarda's Aid. I mean, Colossus Hammer is 1 mana draw 2, or I guess 2 mana draw 2 because with the Steel Shaper's Gift. But they can't equip because of Needle. If Toski were any other creature hype, would it be as hype? I mean, potentially. If Toski was an eye, it might be more hype. Oh, Disenchants. Nice. They also don't have Metal Craft. So we could Path Ornithopter here to turn off Metalcraft. And not play around another 0 mana artifact. And even if they do have a 0 mana artifact, we still have a block with Toski, actually. But I say that this is both the most fun and strongest. I mean, fun is subjective. I can't tell you what the most fun deck is, but I think this is in my opinion, the strongest Stoneforge Mystic deck. Pretty sure I'm killing Midnight just to try to keep them off Metalcraft. My opponent only has 2 cards in their hand. Land would have been really nice there. I guess we still have one more look. Cool. So at least Noble Hierarch can chump block. In case they do go off. This is certainly their window. This is certainly their window, but it's going to be pretty hard for them to kill in this spot, especially because they don't have a Shadow Spear still in their deck. But they can definitely do some stuff here. If they can get all 4 of their hammers into play, they can kill us. Yeah, but we just get to chump block here, so I think we're pretty ahead. Oh no, wait, no, sorry, they get to draw off the boots again. I don't know why I forgot that they could draw off the boots. So now if they find their last hammer or Steel Shaper's Gift, we lose. Or land Stoneforge Mystic. I think they already played their land. So we're taking 13 down to 4 life. Not the healthiest life total you can be at, I guess. Can we play Petty Theft, Path, and Teferi? It looks like we can. So what we can do is we can hit them. They'll probably block here. And then Petty Theft the Colossus Hammer, kill this with Sword of Fire and Ice. Then Teferi bounce Swiftfoot Boots and Path Pure Steel Paladin. Seems like the best line to me. Although maybe it's better to play second Teferi first. Just in case our choices change based on our draws and stuff. Yeah, that's that could definitely be a game changer here. If we draw a white source in our 3 draws. Like a basic plains. So now we get to go Petty Theft, Swiftfoot Boots, Onthanize Pure Steel Paladin, and then we have Path to Exile up. Really hard to. We could maybe lose, but can't really figure out how, honestly. Opponent says, "Man, you sequence so fast." It's true. I don't even think I'd play that turn that quickly. Lose to Hammer Paladin. I have Path to Exile, so no, I don't. No, I don't. I will Path the Paladin in response to the hammer being cast. We know 2 of our opponent's cards are hammer boots. They also have access to Luris. Yeah, Piracy Charm pretty good against old Toski. Going down to 3. I think we're pathing Luris. Maybe we're not. Path is just such a premium card here. We're about to draw 3 new cards, or 2 if they chump block the Toski, so it's probably just good to use my mana here. I'm not really afraid of the hard equip. It's a good draw. Their deck does not play Maul of the Skyclaves because they have Luris. And they should also be chumping with Midnight here, I think. Maybe not. Never mind, they probably shouldn't be. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic is interesting. We play Ice-Fang first. They don't have we already exiled their Shadow Spear, so I'm not really afraid of that card either. I'm not really afraid of too much. Should I move the sword over? Probably doesn't matter really too much to move the sword over, and then I might just want my Hierarch to chump block some reason. Or cast Borrower. I think Maul of the Skyclaves is good. I don't think every Stoneforge Mystic wants to play it. I think like the black-based Stoneforge Mystic decks probably want Maul of the Skyclaves over specifically sort of Feast and Famine, because you don't get to use the untap mana nearly as well in a black deck. So we advance to 6-1. It's gonna be kind of close. We'll see. We'll just play. Have to play. Oh boy, 0 lander, mulliganing. Do I think Bant Eldrazi adjacent decks are a dead forever archetype? Probably not. It would, like, those decks were good when Once Upon a Time was legal, and Oko. And those cards are banned now, but you know, just needs a powerful card printed that works well in the deck. On the draw, keep. I have kept 0 landers before and won. I was thinking about we were having our never keep a 1-lander discussion the other day, where someone was trying to convince me you would never keep a 1-lander, which I disagree with. I was thinking about there was a Pro Tour match in Legacy where I believe I kept a 0-lander on the play. That was a 6-card hand, and won the match. Where it was a 6-card hand that just drawing one piece of one land or Lotus Petal was able to kill. I was playing Storm, so just any land or Lotus Petal was able to kill, I think, with a Duress. Maybe not with a Duress, but I'd already mulliganed once. And I ended up keeping, and I ended up winning the game and the match, I think. Let's keep this. I think I'm putting back Toski. I'm putting back Toski. It's kind of close, though. Why not Sword? I mean, you could put the Sword on the Batterskull. And we can't currently cast the Toski. It's close. I think it's very close. Opponent's taking their time. You play against what? I don't know. It's a game 1. Match 8. Opponent kept 7. They sure are taking a lot of time on their first turn, though. My setup is 2 screens. My desk is not big enough for 3. It's like barely a desk. That's something I should probably upgrade. Now, you're not allowed to intentionally draw in on Magic Online. My opponent has disconnected. Well, I sure hope that we get to play. My opponent's almost used 5 minutes of their clock now. It really does feel bad, you know, if you're playing potential win and M, just to lose the internet connection. And I've definitely been there, so I hope that they come back. Well, if you want to find my Bant's Ephemerate deck, you can click See My Stream Decker for all my decks, and then you can scroll up and find it. And you can do that for all my deck lists, including this one, which has been really, really fun. So the deck has honestly not looked bad. We beat Niv Mizzet, then we lost a pretty close game to Spirits, where we had our nut draw, but we were just on the draw, and then the Void Winter wasn't that relevant against them. Sadly. How long does it take to auto-lose if opponent comes back? I believe 10 minutes, but they change it a lot. It's possible, actually, for these Premier events that it no longer is that there's a timer. I can't remember. They change it a lot. I thought it was down to 5 minutes. It was like that for a while, but they've changed it. What round are you for the Modern Prelim? It's not a Modern Prelim, it's a Modern Challenge. This is round 8. And this is the last round of Swiss. We're 6-1. And our last round opponent is having problems with their connection, it seems. Why is Zonta's Ice better than Path to this deck? Good question. So in this metagame, the best decks, or one of the tier 1 strategies, is the Monastery Swift Spirit decks. Burn, Blue-Red Prowess, Black-Red Scourge Prowess. And Path to Exile is bad against those decks on the first 2 turns. if you're casting Path to Exile against a Swift Spear, against a Sprite, I mean, Sprite Dragon's a bit better, but just against their 1-mana aggressive creatures, which you need to do if you have Path to Exile, they can make use of that extra mana really, really well with Luris, and just kind of overwhelm you. And so I think in this specific metagame, Onthanize is better than Path. But Onthanize also is really nice with Ice-Fang, because we're already playing a lot of Snowlands, and Onthanize makes your mana leaks better, not giving your opponent extra mana to pay for mana leak. Is Path being bad right now part of the reason Toski's good? Maybe, yeah. I mean, Toski's like fine anyways. Like against like most Path decks, Toski's like also dodging their counter spells, so it's still kind of resilient. That's part of it, yeah. Toski doesn't need to dodge every single piece of removal in the format for it to be good, you know? Toski doesn't need to absolutely have no answers for it to be a powerful card. It dodging all counter spells, all damage-based removal, all destroy-based removal, I think is enough for it to make it a really resilient and powerful card advantage engine. Oh yeah, Onthanize plus Teferi is also pretty good, bouncing your Onthanize from time to time. Yeah, and also like, yeah, Stoneforge Mystic. Path is so bad against Stoneforge Mystic, but Onthanize is pretty good. This isn't McDonald's. I don't usually eat at McDonald's. This is a local burger place that I used to eat at all the time, but I now live on the other side of town. But I found out they're on Grubhub, and my mom gave me a Grubhub gift card for Valentine's, so that's what we're having for dinner. My opponent showed up. Awesome, very cool. They have used almost 10 minutes, but we actually get to play, which is what I want to do. MTG Bot said that they were last seen playing Red-Green Titan Shift, which we've already played against once this tournament. We did win, but we don't have like almost any sideboard cards if this is that matchup. I kind of hope I'm not playing against... Yeah, awesome. Very cool. So it could be Blue-Red Prowess. Wooded Foothills does make me think Blue-Red Prowess more so than a Blue Fetch does, but Remand makes it, you know, a brew of some kind. And I will say, unfortunately for our opponent, if they're playing this Blue Mirror, them being down 10 minutes on their clock to start the match is a really unfortunate thing for them. As always, if I am 0% to win, I will concede. Huh, weird. Why are they playing Wooded Foothills? I guess they're just 4-color control. Oh, I wish I had that Toski, I guess. Oh, it could be Transmogrify, yeah. If it's Transmogrify, they really can't beat this. But yeah, they could be trying to Transmogrify or Indomitable Creativity their Dwarven Mind token. That would actually make a lot of sense. Good read. Good read. Transmogrify just puts the Fatty into play, and so... Oh no, I didn't activate my Teferi. Oh my gosh. So embarrassing. No wait, did I? I did. I did activate my Teferi. Sorry, I'm going to finish these fries real quick. Good read on the Polymorph, chat. Good read. Man, chat is so helpful all the time. Sorry, I meant to get a green source. Obviously, I'm never punished for anything. Maybe I need to drink more water. I'm definitely feeling like that fatigue from just streaming all day, you know? Definitely don't want my Teferi to die to Bolt. I'll try to play a bit tighter. I apologize. But obviously, again, just never punished for anything. Yeah, hard to go wrong with more water. So we're playing Onthanize, or Or just casting Spell Queller. I think I'm just casting Spell Queller. Just having another creature in play with these swords and the Teferi just seems so good here. Why didn't they just go for it? So my opponent has to play Polymorph at sorcery speed because I have Teferi. And if they just Polymorph into Emrakul, I can just -3. So they have to deal with Teferi before they can combo. They don't get the extra turn with Emrakul. No, they probably do have a Polymorph in their hand, but like Polymorph does nothing against Teferi, the fun Raveler. Alright, Anger's not bad here. So I'm going to try to keep the loyalty on Teferi high enough that it's not going to die to Lightning Bolt. And because my opponent is only playing Emrakul as creatures, because that's how their deck works, we'll just Onthanize here. And is it gonna, I think it's better to activate Castle Ardenvale than it is to cast Batterskull, since my opponent can just bounce the Germ or the Batterskull. Also, if we deal with all 4 Dwarven Mine tokens, their deck just like doesn't function unless they play Shark Typhoon. Doesn't Emrakul has protection from colored spells, but Onthanize is a permanent, Teferi is a permanent, and can both deal with Emrakul. Notably, we've played against, this is our 8th round, we've played against 7 different decks today, which is pretty cool. Main phase repeal, it's pretty good for them. It's not really expecting to play against repeal. Well, I can't protect this Teferi with Mana Leak, but if they have Remand or Mana Leak, I can just replay it. They do have Force of Negation pitching Spell Snare, though. It's probably going to lose. Although Onthanize does answer the Emrakul. But if they go for it on our instep, it's like a bit worse, but we can... They just bolt the token, sure. The problem with Onthanize is with Teferi they can go off at instant speed. Guess I'm jamming this. We could draw land plus Teferi Time Raveler if they don't counter it in order to win. Or in order to stop them from comboing off here, rather. We drew the Teferi, but we didn't draw the land. That's so unfortunate. I mean, maybe it's not that unfortunate. I also maybe tap poorly here too, where I could have just cast Ice-Fang to block. But we're maybe not dead here. We can sack Onthanize, Sword of Fire and Ice, Jace the Mind Sculptor if they attack Jace, and they should attack Jace, and then 3 lands. And we're just not dead on board, so we're into a burn spell. Just not quite good enough to concede yet. They bounce the Sword of Fire and Ice, so I have 1 less permanent to sack. That's a good play. They're attacking the Jace with Emrakul, so I'll sack Emrakul, Onthanize, Basic Plains, Basic Island, Castle Ardenvale, and Hallowed Fountain. Okay. We're at 17 life. If my opponent has a counterspell for this, I can concede. But notably, they can't Emrakul again because they've used all 4 Dwarven Mines. Ah, they have a counterspell. Bummer. If we had drawn land plus our, with this Teferi last turn, we could have also maybe succeeded. But whatever. Just going to go to the next game. So probably want these Veil of Summers. Don't want this many Onthanize. Maybe 1, maybe 0. Want the Force of Negation. I don't think Pithing Needle's that good against them. Like maybe if I see Shark Typhoon, I'll bring it in. We can name Wooded Foothills, but that doesn't seem very good. Path is okay. Yeah, Path actually is okay because it stops their combo. Forgot that instant speed removal is good against their deck. So maybe I'll just cut the 3rd Toski, which is maybe hard to tap out for. Jace bounces Emrakul, so I'd rather have a Jace. This seems fine. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, ooh. Ooh, clicked the wrong card. Okay, I'm gonna get some more water too. I think we probably have a fine matchup. I'm not 100% sure. We have 3 Teferis and 1 Jace to deal with resolved Emrakul's, so I don't think we need Anthonice. Needle naming Teferi stops them from comboing with instant speed. Yeah, but I also played Teferi in my deck, so seems not great. Do I still make top 8 with a loss? I might. It's going to go down to tiebreakers. I think I probably don't. I was 7th going into this round. I probably don't make top 8, but it's possible. Although 2 higher... I don't know. We'll just play. We'll see what happens. I think you have to keep this. I mean, this hand's not bad, but... probably just can't just... We probably cannot just jam Teferi on turn 3. Oh, we have the Rim F, who's a ghost. Oh no. I'm glad we didn't get paired against Rim. Rim always ghosts me. Or at least like the last 2 times we played against Rim, they have. If you have all the fetches, is there any reason for Windswept Heath? I mean, I play Windswept Heath in this deck. I play 1 copy. It's honestly probably not that bad to play more Heaths and less Misties in this deck. There's like fetching basic island is pretty good. Why did I consider a mulligan? I'm just thinking about my hand. I basically, this is not the best hand possible, but I usually end up thinking about mulligans more in matchups that I haven't played 1,000 times, and this is one of those. But I certainly do not mulligan this hand. But I'm able to make decisions faster when I've played the matchups a bunch, and I've never played this matchup before. I don't think you want to play birds. I think 4 mana dorks is the number you want, but you could maybe play 1 birds if like the Lava Dart decks are on the decline, which they might be. I haven't played against a Swift Spear deck all stream today. My opponent probably can't. I mean, I don't know what technical issues they're facing over there, but with 9 minutes on their clock, and if I win this game, they have to win game 3. They probably can't afford to be taking this amount of time. It is certainly possible they're just experiencing more technical problems, and my heart certainly goes out to them. Moto crashed for lots of people? Oh no. Of course. I mean, is it possible that it's crashed for me right now? Have we clicked auto pass turn? I don't think so. Turn off all yields, I guess. Yeah, you can play 5 mana Teferi over Jace if you don't have Jace. Like, I think it's important to have 1 out to infinite life, so you want to play one of those 2. Try to trade with the bot. Man, it's sauce with all the tips. It's going pretty slow. What is the advantage of Heath over Misty? I mean, obviously you can fetch basic planes with Heath and you can't with Misty, and basic planes is pretty good with Anthonice. I mean, I guess I don't know why I'm looking for specifically go bots, but it is going super slow for me. But it looks like this not crashed. But very possibly crashed for my opponent, which is a huge feel bad, especially because this matchup is very interesting. Oh, it's here. Let's see. Did my clock doesn't look like it went down. Yeah, doing it live. Restart anyways. I mean, I don't think I want to restart when some people are telling me that they restarted and it's not letting them back in, which does happen sometimes. I'm probably fetching Floodplain this turn. Yeah, is Windswept Heath just better than Misty in this deck? I mean, I don't know. Like, we do have double blue cards, and that's the only double color. But maybe we actually want to be on, like, 3 Heaths, 2 Misties. Because fetching basic planes is really relevant. Oh, Magic Online. I mean, my opponent's definitely not a Blood Moon deck, at least. We can't let them remand our Teferi, then play their own Teferi here. Is it still the Swiss? Yes, this is the last round of the Swiss. We may be still top 8 even if we lose, but it's unlikely. If my opponent casts Teferi Time Ravel here, I honestly can't help but wonder if they would do so if they still had enough time on their clock. It's also pretty bad if they have like Force of Negation into Lightning Bolts. Veil of Summer would be our best draw. I think I'm still playing the Teferi though. They do have Force of Negation. Do they have the answer for Queller? Bounce my Queller. I would not bounce my Queller here if I had the ability to. I think having Teferi not die to Bolt is more relevant. If they kill the Queller, they still don't get their spell back. Yeah, actually they can just polymorph here. They do have the Bolt though. This could have been a Toski runaway with the game turn. Maybe that was better. I mean, resolving Teferi wins us the game too. And it's worse if they just have Lightning Bolt. Cloud Form for Hexproof. Very interesting. Yeah, we might lose. Yeah, we may have won if we had played Toski instead. Obviously, it's just kind of tough. Man, Magic Online is lagging so hard. I don't think I can afford to restart, though. Why not something like Boggle? If they play any creature in their deck, their polymorphs don't always hit Emrakul. So we lose to polymorph. Guess I'm playing Toski. And hoping they don't have it. I'm not sure that playing Toski would have won us this game. Like, they just bolt the Queller, then they get to play their Teferi and bounce my Toski. Yeah, playing Teferi is definitely better. Because Teferi doesn't play around Force plus Bolts, but like Toski plays really badly against just Lightning Bolt. But if they just have Force, Teferi is also just kind of fine. Run out the clock. If I'm 0% to win, I always concede. Although we only had one draw with Toski, so it's like drawing to Force of Negation isn't a thing. Maybe they polymorph and block the Coatl, maybe. Alright, am I 0% to this Emrakul? Yes. I can't draw land and Teferi Time Raveler. Huge kudos to our opponent for winning with all the technical issues as well. Definitely a big shout out to them.